Okay, we've got a no heat call, and we have not been here. Looks like they either just bought the house or they're trying to sell it or something. And lady said the front door was open. So I did go in and turned on the thermostat and made sure it was on. So, looks like the gas meter is on. So let's see if we can find the unit. I don't know if this house has a package unit or a furnace underneath, but I did see in the house that the vents were blowing out of the floor. So that tells us it's on the bottom somewhere. So let's get under and see what we can see. All right. Right off the bat, we see some flex going to an old uninsulated return. Same thing over there, and an old furnace that's left under here. Looks like it would have fit out that door easy. So, looks like it's on this side for service. Looks like we got a pane here. One of those funky coils. So, and the gas line in the way. Let's see, we'll get this out. And this is one of those that the stupid flue motor hangs out into. And you just saw that spark, I guess, right up there. Probably should have turned that off before I started fighting with it. Well, I'll tell you what, they just, you know, it takes all kinds. We just bent that down. I don't know where the spark came from, but if it was that, we certainly lost our low voltage, and there was a hum that I no longer hear. Alright. That doesn't sound good. Sometimes just resetting the power lets it try again or whatever. This is just outrageous. I don't know if I can rack this thing over. Does not sound good. Here comes our flashes. 3 fast ones. And 4 slow ones. So, pretty sure 34 is going to be related to pressure switch, which is probably not pulling in because you hear the condition of the induced draft assembly. Let's see if we can find it here. All right. 34. Ignition proving failure. So, it's going to be my guess. If it were a Goodman, I would probably be able to reach in there and clear that port right there out. It likes to stop up. So, what we're looking at here. It clicked and I smell gas. Let's see if it tries again. Plugged in the vacuum tube, pressure switch tube, whatever you want to call it. I'm just waiting to hear this valve click open again. And if it does, yeah. So, we either need an igniter or we are not getting a signal from the board. Let's pull that out and look. All right, I got it out and I don't see any need in taking my meter to it. As you can see, that thing is finished igniting. So let's go out to the truck and see if we've got something that'll go in this. I used to keep one or two of these big wide, you know, we just call them by name. We just call them carrier, you know, igniters, but I may have something that'll go in there. And if not, then we'll just have to send after one. But let's hope this is a simple problem and it fires back up. They're selling this house and we'll let the home inspectors stir up all the trouble of the flue motor sounds and whatever. It sounds like, I'm sure it's rusted all inside and getting very close to the end of its life anyway. The heat exchanger in the furnace may be okay, but that induced draft motor sounds terrible. So let's see what we can do here. All right, we got it back in there. Like I say, it's not the exact one, but it should be fine. I was able to position it and get it tight, and the wires are not pinched. Now, for you do-it-yourselfers, yes, these connectors will only, I think I got to squeeze that a little further. They'll only go one way. They got like a church hill on one end, but this igniter is not polarity conscious. So it does not matter which way you have these two wires. Doesn't matter which one's hot and which one is neutral. So I'm going to put both hands on this and try to get this squeezed together a little better, and we'll fire it up. All right. Let's see if we get ignition, then we'll wait for the fan. I'll tell you, with this like this, just not comfortable putting this door back on. So I think I'll let it ignite one time and cut it back off before it heats up, and then I'll get that door back in there. I don't want to put that door back on, but you know, I guess we should. Yep, it's glowing. We should get ignition and make sure the flame sensor is going to see flame and let it stay on for a second. Okay. I should probably. All right, that was tough to get this long screw into place in there, but finally had to just bend this door end out a little bit. We got it in there. So it went in a little easier than it came out. So let's watch it fire up and see that the fan comes on. And we'll go in the house and just make sure everything's okay. Boy, that does not sound good. I just don't think that induced draft assembly is long for this world. And we'll communicate that to the customer. And if they want us to do any further work, we will. Right now, we're just going to charge them for the igniter replacement and cleaning the flame sensor and testing the furnace and leaving them with heat. Glow. Here's the flame. So, we'll listen for the fan and then we'll go in the house. This was a bad design, in my opinion, that Carrier came out with. It's on and blowing. I can hear it. Just this whole induced draft and the whole end of the heat exchanger, just how they did it. I guess they did it to make it shorter, but it's fatter, and with the components hanging out beyond the door or beyond the door opening, it's just not logical to me, but you know, what do I know, according to them. They're the engineers, I'm just the service tech out in the field. They don't want to hear what I got to say. But like I said, in my opinion, this is a bad design, and I see why Carrier abandoned it. It's just not a good furnace, but they do work. And they last a while. These induced draft assemblies are really weird. I don't think much of them, but let's go in the house and take a couple of readings and make sure this thing is safe, and we'll communicate with the customer and find out what they want and go from there. All right, 60 degrees. Set on 72. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to determine the rise across the heat exchanger, and I'm also going to take my little testo. Now I saw a video, if you want to see a little more about this, Zach did a review over on HVAC Shop Talk. And I can see it blowing this, so I think we're gonna be fine to sit it right there. There's the sensor on the back. Now, Zach tested this thing a little more extensively than I have. I've just used it and trusted it. He took and made videos both ways of putting it up against actual heat, you know, because some of them will say too much heat. And I'm going to put this right in the line of fire there from the, I'm going to try anyway, right in the line of airflow. Let's see what it does. Like I say, Zach did test and review that that little detector. Okay, we're taking in 60 degrees, so the thermostat is pretty accurate as according to this in the return air. So let's just see what we're putting out. And between that, the temperature rise, and the CO detector here, we'll just determine that this furnace is safe. Hey buddy, how you doing? Not a lot of airflow going in, so that means obviously that's equal to the amount that can come out. How you doing there, buddy? Hey. Well, this dog here appears to be pretty nice. How you doing? Say hi to our YouTube friends. All right, so I'm just going to let this thing get up to temperature. So anyway, when Zach was testing this, he did a little two-part thing. I don't know if he added to the same video or made another one, but someone had raised the question of heat affecting the sensor. So he laid it right on the vent, and so I haven't really ever had to do that. I would if I needed to. But so she's still on 0 parts per million. And we're gonna let it get all the way up to temperature and let it get hot. But as I was saying, Zach determined that the heat did not affect the reading of the sensor. Now, whether it affects the lifespan or the longevity, whatever, of the sensor, I do not know. I've just put the batteries in, turned it on, and say, hey, all right, a new gadget, and I started using it. But Zach did, and if you want to go look at that video, you can find it. There's the model on it right there. You can find Zach's review on HVAC Shop Talk, and that's a real good channel. So if you watch, I'll go ahead and turn this off. I'm satisfied that we're probably okay. And it's got quite a bit of rise, which just basically tells me the airflow is really poor. You can see it's pretty much up to 125 from 60, and that's a bunch. That is a huge amount of temperature rise. That's more than what I would be comfortable with. But it's pretty well stabilized right about there where it's at. I guess if it ran a really long cycle, it would probably build up a little more. But, I expected that by looking at the duct system underneath, and so that's the reason we brought this CO detector in here. I did put a call into her at work and have not heard back yet. So if they want any further work done, or they want that induced draft assembly addressed, and then we'll move forward with that. But with the for sale sign in the front yard, I've got to believe that the home inspectors are going to come in with some kind of concerns, and that's going to stir up some sort of HVAC pot within itself. So she can just wait and let that happen and see what they do. But decent house, needs some work. But I'll tell you, me personally, I'd rather have an old house like that needed 20, 30 grand put into it than the way I watch them build these new ones. So let's go to the next one. They've got heat. Thanks for watching.